Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. I'm going to be doing the first of many Oath of the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar drafts here in just a second. Since this is a brand new format, I just wanted to preface it by saying don't judge my future drafts by this draft. You're going to be watching in real time my first interaction with these cards. I have not played Paper Magic with this set at all. My total exposure to the set has come from the little reading I've done myself, and I listened to the Limited Resource podcast on the commons and uncommons only. So I do have sort of a general idea on those, but rares and mythics, I'm very I only know a few of them. So I once again just don't judge my future drafts by this draft. I'm definitely going to improve. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to do bad the first time around, but I can 100% assure you that my picks here will not be the same as my picks I would do like 5 to 10 drafts in. So just keep that in mind, and thank you. We'll see you in a second. All right, just about ready to open pack one here. All right, so rare reopened. Equipped creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever an equipped creature you control dies, draw a card. I don't think that's going to be our first pick. Do have a Grasp of Darkness. I doubt Stonehaven Outfitter is worth anything, but it's always a good idea, especially right when a brand new format has come out, to check the prices of cards. Yes, as expected, it's not worth much. Probably just taking the Grasp of Darkness because I know right off the bat it's a very strong removal spell. What else do we have, though, that's at least worth looking at? We've got this uncommon Flying Vigilance. Target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it gains flying and vigilance until end of turn. This card's pretty good, too. Still think we'd rather have the removal. Ruin in Their Wake is like a ramp spell sort of thing. Saddleback Lagak is a cool card. So have to keep in mind, support creatures cannot support themselves. It specifically says to other target creatures. Still a very powerful card. I think we're just going to take the Grasp of Darkness here. Certainly seems correct. I'm not going to regret. Don't mind the cat crying in the background if you're hearing that. That's just my cats beating the life out of each other in the background. Okay. Dread Defiler. 7 mana, 6/8. 3 and a colorless. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. Target opponent lose life equal to the exile card's power. That's okay. I don't think it's busted, though. Cyclone Sire is very good. 5 mana, 3/4 flyer. When it dies, you get a 3/3 hasty land. That's very good. Pyromancer's Assault is more of a build around. I think it's interesting. I don't know how much in love with Pyromancer's Assault I am, though. And then we have Tar Snare, which is a good removal spell. It would stay on color with Grasp of Darkness. I have to say the Cyclone Sire is the strongest card. It's got to be, right? It's just so strong. 5 mana, 3/4 flying, so it's already just a great body. And then when it dies, you get a 3/3. It's tough to deny Cyclone Sire here. I think it's actually just better than Tar Snare. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that. I don't even think it's going out on a limb. We also have Hedron Crawler, which ramps and gives you colorless. So I'm gonna take this Cyclone Sire though. I think it's that much better than Tar Snare. We'll find out though. Okay, so pick now. We have this Entangler, which is a 2-drop ally with prowess, which is okay. We have the Expedition Raptor, which I think is actually a great card. I think I even like it more than Step Glider, but that's debatable, actually. Seed Guardian is probably one of the stronger green cards you can possibly get, but I guess my issue with it being blue-green typically doesn't work that well. There are some blue-green cards we could get that would be good. Blue still has blue-white flyers, I imagine, which means I could take the Glider or the Raptor here. A 2/4 body is better, but support 2 in a flying deck could also be better. Definitely think it's better than the Aeronaut. There's also Reality Hemorrhage for like a blue-red. I mean, it's removal is removal. We're going to try out the Raptor here. I think it's early enough where taking cards in 3 colors is not really a big deal. Here we go. Instantly rewarded with Reflector Mage, which I think is like one of the premier cards from the set. I've always loved this effect in Limited. Merc Strider kind of being the exception because it actually requires setup, whereas this just is like better than Void Mage Separatist. I guess it requires 2 colors, which might make it worse, but it also costs mana less and has an extra toughness. So it's just incredible. This card is so good, and they can't replay it until their next turn. So, I mean, this is already being slammed into constructed decks, so I definitely think it's the pick here, and that seems fine to me. Here's our first look at Wastes. Spawnbinder Mage is interesting. Is this an ally? Too good, I guess, if it had been. All right, just taking a Reflector Mage here and probably moving into blue-white, or we're going to attempt to. Walker of the Wastes. So, requires colorless, which might be okay to take this early. Alpha Protector strikes me as a card that's going to be really good in a blue-white Flyers because a 1/4 body on the ground is not too shabby. And we have Malakir Soothsayer in black, which is definitely strong. 3 colors seems like it's going to be difficult to do without some help, especially since this is even more so because we've got to deal with effects that require actual colorless mana. So we're going to see how complicated this set becomes. You can't really splash Grasp of Darkness. I guess technically you can splash Malakir Soothsayer. It's definitely stronger than Protector. I'm going to take the Soothsayer. I think Protector's probably a little more replaceable. Technically, Aeronaut flies, which is good. Boulder Salvo is good. Let's try and restrict ourselves to these 3 colors. The main reason I took the Soothsayer is because I think if you can get this cohort ability online, you're doing really good. But we are seeing a Sky Climber here, which actually does have synergy with Soothsayer, but is just a fantastic card in general, especially for a blue-white Flyers deck or this sort of cohort deck we might. Like, it's good for black-white life gain. It's good for blue-white Flyers. It probably is just a pick for us here. There is Seer's Lantern, which you can always play in ramps, which I think is also good. But I think I want this Sky Climber. I want to try this card out. I feel like it's good early, it's good late. Couple Bone Saws. Gift of Tusks I don't think is that great. Visions of Brutality is pretty interesting. Better in an aggressive deck, I imagine. Gravity Negator. 4 mana, 2/3 flyer, and when it attacks, you can pay colorless and give another. This card seems really good, actually. We're going to take the Negator. At this point, I guess I'm pretty confident in saying we're just blue-white Flyer. So I gave up a 3 mana, 1/4 blocker. Wow. Let me get the Raptor back. Yeah, I think we're supposed to be in this archetype, which is fine. We can cut these cards for now and just sort of try and focus on the... Is Raptor not that good? I thought it was. Outfitter comes back. I imagine Bone Saws are going to come back. Would I rather have a 2 mana 2/2 or a 3 mana 1/4 Vigilance? They're both allies, by the way. I mean, it's actually a reasonable question, I think. There's a lot of 2/3s, which I think makes this Outfitter much worse. The Protector gives you pretty good protection, as the name suggests. That's interesting. I'm going to take the Protector. I think the Outfitter is probably not that great. All right, I think the Membrane's actually a pretty good card, especially for what this deck wants to do. We're seeing some super late Saddleback Legax and a tabled Pyromancer's Assault. Even though it's a build-around, I still think that card potentially good. They had to make it where it was only the second spell. If it was every spell after the first, it would have just been busted in Storm decks, I'm sure. But Containment Membrane seems right up our deck's alley. Like, even if you don't Surge it, it does what you want it to do in a deck like this. There was that spell, I didn't even kind of go over it with you guys, but it's the one, it seems interesting. It's where you can prevent the damage a creature does. By the way, Aeronaut actually looks a lot better in this deck now with double Raptor, so we're going to take it. What was I saying? Oh, I skipped over the card that it prevents all the damage a creature does, and then you gain life equal to its power. I think that's... I need to play with it to really decide how much I like it. All right, we're just going to cut the white card here. When it enters, sacrifice a creature, and you can make it a 4/5 or a 6 mana 6/5. I guess Harvester Troll. I don't care as much about an expensive thing, although I don't really care about the Troll either. I'd prefer someone didn't have lead by example. All right, last pick, Bonesaw. So I guess we could have gotten some synergy with our outfitter, as I thought we would have, but I don't think it's a big deal. Actually, it's really hilarious that someone took a non-foil Bonesaw over a foil one. I don't quite understand the idea behind that. All right, we're going to take a look at this price on Sylvan Advocate. Like I said, it's just a good idea. In fact, maybe I missed a couple rares I should have priced out. I'm not sure. All right, it's worth about 2 tickets, but I think we can at least see if there's something better, right? So we've got this Scythe Master, which I think is okay. I don't think it's insane. It is a good blocker, though. No, it's not a good blocker. It's only a good attacker. I mean, okay, Scythe Master is good with the Raptors. Advocate's very good card. Could just take a colorless mana. We have no colorless requirements yet except a Negator, which isn't even a requirement. Kind of a miss, to tell you the truth, on our first pick. I don't know how good the Scythe Master is yet. I have a feeling it's not bad. I guess we'll take Scythe Master, only because colorless doesn't really matter for us. Overwhelming Denial. Yeah, that seems like something we could play. But there is Sweep Away as well, which I think is going to be really good. We have Shoulder to Shoulder, which seems okay, but not insane for us yet. Let's see how much Overwhelming Denial is worth. If it's not worth much, maybe I don't take it, but we'll see. Overwhelming Denial at... Oh, it's 0.1 ticket? All right, never mind. Well, probably just want the Sweep Away then. Yeah. Makes sense. Another Raptor. I mean, it tabled last time, so probably get that opportunity again. Sweep Away seems really good. The bounce aspect is not great, but put it on top in a deck that usually wants to tempo out with flyers. Seems really good. Yeah, right now we're on a pretty good tempo plan. We're going to take this Sweep Away. Probably wheel the third Raptor, which I imagine the more Raptors you get, the worse they get. Okay, we could take a Hedron Crawler now. There is a Unity of Purpose, which is a instant speed way to both untap creatures with +1/+1 counters and pump them. In fact, you pump and then untap, which is really good, actually. But I think I want this Crawler. Getting a ramp seems good, I think. Also, colorless could matter. I might want this Unity of Purpose. I actually don't know. Usually, ramp is just good. Regardless of whether I need the colorless or not, ramp is just good. This deck, I admittedly looks like it needs it less, but Raptor, it gives another Raptor target, although making this a 1/2 is nothing special. I guess we'll take the ramp. I don't know yet. We'll see if that comes up at all. Okay, Grip of the Royal, which is tap a creature, it doesn't untap, draw, which seems like a good card for our deck. Isolation Zone, though, here we go. Now we're in business. Yeah, this is just straight up hard removal. This has got to be better. All right, take that. There's a Pathfinder in here, which is interesting, but got to take the removal. All right, Relief Captain. 4 mana, 3/2, support 3. That's pretty big. We also have the Sky Climber and a Work Lyric, which gives us some more early plays. I probably just want the Relief Captain. I got to try this out at least, and it seems like it's very strong. I think this deck really could use some more of these Aeronauts now. They just seem really good for us with all this support. But yeah, we got to try this Relief Captain out. Supporting 3. A 4 mana 3/2 is not that good, but if I could pump 2 other dudes or 3 other dudes, that'd be insane. Blinding Drone is a reason to take colorless matters cards, like the lands, like Holdout Settlement and stuff. We do have a Hedron Crawler, which is a renewable way to do that. It's not bad, actually. I still think I want to... That's actually tough. I'm actually going to take the Blinding Drone here. The reason I'm not taking the Support 3 card, even though I think it's really good, is I feel like I still get an opportunity to pick up some ways to get colorless. If I can't get it, I can't play this. But I already have a couple support cards. I feel like I can get some more, and I feel like I don't have enough low end to justify all that support. It could come back to bite me. We'll find out. Sweep Away or Searing Light. That's interesting. Sweep Away is very good tempo. Searing Light is hard removal, but a little more narrow. Something to do early, though. It's only 1 mana, too. I'm going to try out Searing Light. I think we got to play it to see how good it is. Sweep Away might end up just being a better card all around, but we'll find out. All right, I'm going to take the Negator here, number 2. I think a 4-mana 2/3 flyer is fine. Plus, we have the Hedron Crawler possibly to make it work. Or we could take another Searing Light. I think they're probably less good in multiples. And we could use some more flyers. There's a Warden of Geometries for more colorless mana, but we're going to take the Negator. All right, another shot at Searing Light. We could also take the Negate. I think now I'll take a second Sweep Away over a second Searing Light. I feel like the Sweep Aways and multiples are fine. All right, here's a Holdout Settlement, which we're going to take. We are a bit color intensive, but that's fine. We'll take the Settlement. All right, now we can take Seer's Lantern and be pretty happy. It ramps. It also is going to fix for our Hedron or our Blinding Drone. So we're not going to get any more shots at waste, but that's okay. Hey, we got the Unity of Purpose back, so that's nice, actually. I think we're going to take it. We're going to play it. It's probably better than Dazzling Reflection, I think. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Slip Through Space works well with Surge, but we're just about done with Surge. I don't think we need Slip Through Space. It's not something this deck needs. I think we'll hate a Slaughter Drone just because it's something cheap. And it's a good card. Iona's Blessing. Yeah, I mean, it's on color. I don't think we're going to play it. We'll take it. Okay, well, we're close to a deck already, which means we could have picked up some colorless fixing cards. We just probably don't have enough to make Blinding Drone work, which means we could have taken the 4-drop 3/2 support 3 guy. I still think we're okay, though, without it. We ended up with 3 other support cards, and yeah, I'm guessing we probably don't have enough to make Blinding Drone work. Just 3 ways to get it. But we can still play the 3 ways for the Negator. I think that's probably fine. Although most of our cards fly already. Last pick black card is interesting. We started black and it kind of felt like it was getting cut from pack 1. Let's just cut cards that probably aren't going to make the deck. Everything else seems fine. All right, there's a From Beyond. Clutch of Currents. Now I'm back in territory I recognize. All right, Kozilek's Channeler does actually work with Blinding Drone, but not like in a super effective way. Usually Clutch of Currents is just going to make you happy. It's going to give you a creature. It can be a great tempo play. It interacts positively with support. Tide Drifter is a great card too, especially since we have some Devoid. And it's cheap. But I think we just want the Clutch, especially since we have Hedron Crawler and Seer's Lantern to ramp into it. It's just typically very powerful effect. All right, Hope to Wheel, Stonehaven Medic, which typically isn't fantastic for blue-white, but it's certainly playable in blue-white, and it seems like something this deck could use. Okay, Tightening Coils is like exactly what a blue-white Flyers deck wants. Just, especially this kind that's lacking early plays. I think Mighty Leap's out of the question too. It's just not really a combat trick we want. Nothing we really hope to wheel from here. I guess maybe Rush of Ice, possibly. I don't think I want to play the Devastator or the Breaker of Armies, really. But we'll take the Tightening Coils. It's definitely what this deck wants. All right, Gideon's Reproach is very good. It just so happens there's nothing else in here we care about either, so it seems correct to me. Still hunting for some more creatures. Keep in mind we have the Clutch of Currents, which counts as a creature. So really we have like 12 creatures. which is not bad. Our removal is actually looking very good. Searing Light, Tightening Coils, Gideon's Reproach, Double Sweep Away, Reflector Mage, Membrane, Isolation Zone, Clutch of Currents. Yeah, we have just plenty of removal. So hunting and hunting for some good creatures to finish this deck off. Okay. We've got a Core Blade Whirl, which seems fine. 2/2's not great anymore, though. There's also a Lithomancer's Focus, but we are hunting for some cheaper stuff to do. I guess Blade Whirl has works well with the other allies we have, which we ended up with just a bunch of allies just 'cause. I mean, we are looking for some more bodies. I guess we'll take the Blade Whirl. Gives us something to use Gravity Negator's ability with. I don't think we really are hunting for combat tricks anymore, or basically non-creature spells in general. There is a Rune Processor. Do we have any way to exile? I don't think so. So I guess we'll take the Blade Whirl. That's okay. I don't love Blade Whirl in a deck like this, but we'll consider it. All right, Wind Rider Patrol is just a bomb. Very happily taking that. Yeah, I mean, not much to say. It's just insane. Fortified Rampart of Cloud Manta coming back would be nice, but not super likely. Could get the Rampart back. I don't think the Manta's coming back, but getting a Wind Rider Patrol is a gift. It's a great card. Tightening Coils number 2, fantastic pickup for us here. I did say we didn't need any more non-creature spells, but what do you want me to say? I lied. I'm going to take this one just because it's exactly what our deck wants to do. Going to have to figure out some cuts, but that's always a good problem to have. All right, I always came around. At the beginning of Battle for Zendikar, I wasn't a huge fan of Wavewing Elemental. By the end, I loved it, and I still do. I think it's a great card. So, really happily taking it. I'm trying to think if we can get away with 17 lands in this deck because we have 2 ramp spells. I'm thinking that might actually end up being the case. Myers Malice has always been good. It's probably the best card remaining. Actually, no, we got the Medic back. Yeah, we got to take Medic. It's still what this deck wants to do, I think. So, we're going to take the Medic. Good news is our deck came together really nicely here. Am I going to play an Ondu Greathorn? Possibly. I might like the Greathorn more than the Scythe Master, but Scythe Master I guess works well with the Negator still. Yeah. I'll take it. I mean, I'm giving someone a Myers Mouse, but we might still play the Greathorn. All right, Plummet is clearly a good card against us, so we're going to hate that. Dispel's a good sideboard card to have. There's certainly been times in Battle for Zendikar where I'm happy I had it in my sideboard. So yeah, we have a lot of cuts to make, which like I said is a great problem to have. Not exactly sure what we're cutting yet. Our removal all looks good. Skyline Cascade doesn't... I don't think we need the Unified Front. We really don't have any Allies Matter cards beyond the Core Blade Whirl, which doesn't really require you getting multiples of them anyway. Converge, I feel like, certainly got a lot weaker with Colorless, unless I'm missing something and Colorless spells count towards Converge, but I don't think that they do. Mantis seems like a good card against us. Natural Connection, sure. Okay, so, like I said, we have some cuts to figure out. Could be removal, could be lands. Thinking Searing Light might be better in the sideboard because we're just good on removal and our removal hits more things. And there's certainly some matchups where Searing Light's not going to be insane. And we probably have enough early game where I just don't really care. I do think we can get away with 17 lands, though. With Hedron Crawler and Seer's Lantern, we have enough ways to get to our 1/6 drop. So, yeah, I think we're going to try and get away with 17 lands. All right, and we really have like 17 creatures with the Clutch of Currents. I think we're going to end up cutting Unity of Purpose. I wanted to try the card out. We just don't have the space for it. I'd prefer to play creatures or hard removal. I still think we're probably cutting Searing Light. I mean, between Gideon's Reproach, double tightening coils, containment membrane, double sweep away, Reflector Mage, isolation zone, clutch of currents. I mean, we've just got removal upon removal. I still want to try these negators out. I feel like they could be useful. How many non-flyers do we have? Pretty much just Alpha Protector, which I guess has reasonable synergy with Negator. At least is a way to get in and still block. Scythemaster, which actually does have good synergy with Negator. Sky Climber, which is redundant with Negator. Reflector Mage works well with it. Medic, not especially, I guess. Aeronaut doesn't. Blade Whirl does. Let's be honest, we don't have a ton of tools that synergize well with Negator, but still a 4-mana 2/3 flying is gonna have to be good enough. I guess Greathorn has good synergy with it. All right, let's cut Searing Light. I think the card's fine. It's probably a better sideboard option. And we just need 2 more cuts. I think we want to keep both our ramp effects because we actually have a good amount of 5-drops. And going like Hedron Crawler into Negator into Raptor seems really good to me, actually. So we got to make 2 more cuts. Let's figure that out. How good is Containment Membrane? Makes a card not untap. I still like the Tightening Coils more than that, especially in a deck like this that has all the flyers in the world. How many removal spells? If I cut 2 removal spells, would I still have an adequate amount? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we'd still have 7 removal. I think we're fine. Let's cut to the Containment Membrane, I think. It's good. I like it. I feel like we've got enough things where we don't need it. And I do want my creature count to be relatively high for Double Raptor. Is that our only support left? Okay. I still want my creature count to be relatively high. Still kind of like Alpha Protector in here. One more cut. Do we have any card draw in here either? I don't think what we do. Is that going to be a problem? Probably not. Probably fine. Do I want to cut a 2-drop creature? I mean, I could cut Blade Whirl, giving all your creatures first strike. And how many allies did we end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, well, we only have 5. I actually think I like Blade Whirl less than I like Stonehaven Medic. The reason why, even though giving all your guys first strike can be good, the reason I like Medic more is what I noticed from that LR podcast and from what they were saying too, there's a ton of 2/3s in Oath of the Gatewatch, which really makes 2/2s significantly worse for obvious reasons. So it also makes 1/3s much better since they can block your opponent's paying, 3 mana for a 2/3. You paid 2 mana for a 1/3 with utility ability, or flying in this case. Yeah, I think we're going to go with my gut instinct that 2/2s are worse, especially non-flying ones. All right, so I think I'm pretty comfortable with the way this deck looks. Ended up with 16 creatures, including the Clutch of Currents. This looks pretty solid to me. All right, we are going to play the Holdout Settlement, which I don't think is going to hurt our mana base too much, although we do have some double blue, double white. I still think that's fine. We're going to play the Cascade. Cascade's been pretty good for me for the most part. Everything else seems fine, so I guess we err towards white. This would be 9/7. I think 9/7 is going to work for me. The main reason 9/7 works for me is most of our cheap things we actually want to play early are white. Tightening Coils is better on turn 4 and 5. Same with Sweep Away, although being able to play Sweep Away on turn 3 is very good. But we don't really need blue until we get to Negator and like Cyclone Sire and stuff. So yeah, and the reason I'm playing the Holdout Settlement is I kind of want to be able to turn on this Gravity Negator ability in a pinch. And I don't think it hurts our mana too much. I think 9/7 is correct, regardless. I think 9/7 is where this deck wants to be. Okay, so it's still kind of early to try and gauge how powerful this deck is out of a scale of 10, but I'd like to say it's pretty strong. We ended up with so much removal that we had to cut it, and we have plenty of flyers. How many flyers do we have? One. I'm going to count this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flyers. All right. So I guess we could have used another flyer or two, but that's certainly fine. We ended up with some powerful removal. We have some ramp. Yeah, I like this deck. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It might seem a little bit high, or maybe a little bit low, depending on what your perspective of this deck is. But my thinking was blue-white flyers what turned out to be one of the more powerful archetypes from Triple Battle for Zendikar, and it looks like this is still a pretty good one. So, I mean, it didn't look like it lost any power with Oath of the Gatewatch. Not really. So, yeah, here it is. Blue-white flyers, Oath of the Gatewatch, first draft. We'll see you around one.